Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Wednesday, May 12th, as I move my microphone closer to me so you guys can hear me a little better. Well, welcome back to the show. We got a lot to talk about today. Some good, some bad, and everywhere in between, as we like to call that, fuck yeah and fuck no news. And we're talking about it all here on the show, as we do. If you feel like I've got a downer tone to me today, just to be perfectly honest, sometimes things just affect you differently than other days. And I obviously, like many of you guys, am paying very close attention to what is going, or maybe some of you guys are not, to what is going on in Israel right now. And I think it is, I have to talk a little bit about it later on in the show today because I have to about some things, and I'm going to do my very best to talk about it as little as possible, because I am not where anybody should be getting their news when it comes to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I'm not a politician. I'm not a expert. I am just an American Jew watching the news and commenting on what it is that I see and what it is that I know. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on in the show. I also have another Jew issue that I want to talk to you guys about. It is Jewish American Heritage Month. And so there's a lot of Jew things going on. And one of those things is the fact that Tomi Lahren is being called Nazi Barbie left and right. And I have a big problem with this. And no part of that problem stems from me supporting Tomi Lahren, who you guys know very much. So I have a massive fucking issue with. I think she's a really horrible human being. I don't think she's ever said anything I agree with, ever. Not that I can ever remember. But I have a big problem with her being called Nazi Barbie, and I want to discuss that later on in the show. There's also stuff going on in the world of entertainment news. What I'm hoping is that, because when I was making the graphic for the show today and when I was doing the title of the show, I was like, listen, what I'm thinking is that on the graphic, I put Ellen DeGeneres and This Is Us, so that the people who come here are people who are entertainment news people and are also the rock stars who know that's what I talk about. And it's not people who are just coming to pick a fight with me for being Jewish. So that was kind of my hope in doing that. And also because I want to talk about the fact that Ellen DeGeneres her show is being canceled after all of this time, and her reasoning for why the show, or not being canceled, she's leaving the show after all this time, and her reasoning for why she's ending the show was so bizarro that I'm like, what the actual fuck? And then This Is Us is leaving us after season 6, which you guys know I'm such a fan of that show, especially this past season. I think they've done an excellent job with it. And I'm bummed to see it go. But 6 seasons does seem to be kind of that lucky number for a lot of shows. And so that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Yeah. So that's how I feel about the things that I just said. Murderana says Lauren, not Lauren. I know how to spell Tomi Lahren's name. Why are you saying that? Maybe because I'm from Boston, the way I say those two things are the same way. Lauren and Lauren. Tomi Lahren, Tomi Lahren. Yeah. It's Lahren. I love when you guys always try to correct me on stuff where I'm like, what? I was correcting Ryan Payne. Or when you try to correct each other on stuff that is like, how you spell her name is not the relevant thing right now. Muranis is not meant for you. It's just it's okay. It's okay. Tensions are high in the world of Roxy today. Also, let me know what you guys are thinking. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Our taxes, or at least freelancers' taxes, are officially being taken out on May 17th. So if you're like me this week, you are going to see your bank account lose every dollar, all of the dollars. And so I feel for you guys. And if you're not like us and you're doing really well, then send that support. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Much love to all of you guys who do send that support. I really appreciate it. Starting with those of you guys in the Streamlabs for today's show. Let's see who the first person to send in support for the show was. It officially was none other than Glenn Caesar. Glenn, I can always count on you in the Streamlabs. I really fucking appreciate that. Glenn says, Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hankerson, Jonathan McNally arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. All three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Hope today is the day. Justice for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. Hashtag say their names. Absolutely. No matter what issues we talk about on the show, that's always going to be one of them. Glenn Caesar also says, hello and good afternoon, Roxy, and all your nicknames. As always, well wishes and thanks for hanging out with us all. Love to you, Grammy and Papa. Peace, bunnies, hugs, and good stuff to you and yours. Happy World Girl Wednesday to you, Darina, Steph, and World Friends. RJ and everyone who shows up and gives their support whenever, however they can, even when it gets tough, even if by yourself, you're not alone. Everyone who's battling, keep on fighting. You're a winner, you're kind, you're smart, you are unique. Showing up for people who need it and want it makes you dope AF. Being so unselfishly loving and supportive of others, including strangers, whether it's on the internet or not, makes you humane and worthy. Your story is important and deserves to be seen and heard. Be most excellent, RJ. And rock stars, cheers to fuck yeah news. Love, laughter for us all in all, each of our days, our weeks, our months, and even our years. Let's go Smets and everyone fighting for today, tomorrow, more. Hashtag smash cancer all day, every day. Thank you, Glenn, for this. Also, yes, it is World Girl Wednesday. We will be live tonight. Our interns are kicking butt, and they will be helping us out. We'll be live doing an AMA tonight, so make sure that you guys come through for that 6 p.m. on youtube.com/The World Girls. Lamont Small says, breaking, movie couple just announced Legends of Hidden Temple being rebooted. I saw that yesterday. Yeah, I saw that Legends of the Hidden Temple is being rebooted, but it's an adult version. I don't think that's breaking, Lamont. And I also don't think Movie Couple was the one who announced it. But thank you for saying something. And yeah, I saw yesterday that it's going to be adults, which is wild. Mormoth Hans said, SC stopped working for me during GPA. SC? Oh, Super Chat stopped working for me during GPA? Huh. Testing if it's working. Well, I'm always happy to be your test subject, Mormoth Hans. Thanks for being my spending test subject. That's what I just said, Miss Beantown. Mormoth, I think you have to test it again. And strangely enough, I think that they say you have to test it with $1 million. Just like how you test things. Just kidding. Appreciate all the support. And thank you for continuing to send it in. Y'all are the best. And I appreciate you. And I'm going to be here as long as I can. As long as I can do it. I'm going to continue to try to show up as much and as often as I can for you guys. There's people who typically show up on the show who haven't been showing up recently or haven't been vocal. I don't know what's happening. It makes me sad. But I hope everybody's okay. And for the people who have fallen off, we all go through phases in life. And I just hope that everybody's all right. So, yeah, I hope everybody's all right. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today, like I said. So we're going to talk about some of those things. And we're going to start right meow. As we go through, make sure that you guys let me know how you're feeling in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, in the super chat, and all over the place. I want to hear from you guys. Ellen DeGeneres' show is coming to an end. This is what we heard today. This is a big piece of news because if you guys were living under an Ellen DeGeneres rock, or I guess it wouldn't have been her rock, a different rock, and you didn't know about the Ellen DeGeneres stuff that had happened earlier, remember she took a break from her show because there was toxicity at her workplace. Her workplace was accused of being a toxic work environment. And there were stories about Ellen and Ellen's staff, and producers were fired. And then the show came back. And we know that the shows, that their viewership plummeted post coming back. I think everybody loved to believe that Ellen was the best person on the planet because from what we saw from her on television, all she did was help uplift people's lives. She gave people money and presents and millions of dollars to charities and individuals and all of these things that she did. And everybody thought that Ellen was like just this incredible human, but then one of the best kept secrets in the industry, or maybe not so secret in the industry, was that were the rumors that she was not treating her staff well and that her staff was not treating others well and that she was not the person that we were seeing on television. Now, I've never worked for Ellen. I've never personally met Ellen. I have gone to the Ellen show. I actually did go. I got tickets for me, Ben, and his brother and his brother's wife to go. And we actually ended up winning tickets to the 12 days of Christmas or however many days of Christmas she does. And we got a ton of stuff from that. And obviously it was so exciting and fun and the whole experience was great. But from what we've heard, the workplace environment was really, really bad. And we heard this from multiple different sources to the point where the show went down and then came back on and now was not doing even close to as well as it was doing previously. So, what a lot of people assumed when this came out today was that this was because of what had happened, and now the show was going away. But the headline of all of these articles, and this one I'm going to be reading from his Hollywood Reporter, is Ellen DeGeneres to end talk show, quote, "I need something new to challenge me," period. So it says DeGeneres gets candid about her decision to wrap up the show in 2022 and allegations that nearly sent her packing and the parts that she'll miss most, at least about her daily platform. So this is surprising that she's trying to say that. I guess I'll give my opinion. I'll save my opinion for after we read all of the facts. This article says Daytime's most recognizable face has decided her upcoming season. The show's 19th will be the last. The decision, which fell to DeGeneres, is said to have been several years in the making. She informed her staff May 11th and will sit down with longtime pal and daytime predecessor Oprah Winfrey to discuss the news on Ellen's May 13th show. When you're creative, this is a quote from Ellen, quote, "When you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged. And as great as the show is and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore," end quote. DeGeneres told this to Hollywood Reporter, discussing the move publicly for the first time. Timing her departure is something DeGeneres has openly wrestled with in the past. In 2018, New York Times profile, she revealed that her actress wife, Portia de Rossi, has been encouraging her to move on from the 180 shows a year gig, while her comedian brother, along with executives at Warner Brothers, have urged her to continue. In the end, DeGeneres signed on for 3 more seasons, but was clear with herself and her team that this contract, which would take her well beyond 3,000 shows and a stunning 2,400 celebrity interviews, would be her last. Quote, "Although all good things must come to an end, you still have hope that truly great things never will." This is coming from Warner Brothers Unscripted TV president Mike Darnell, who, as recently as late April, was still prodding DeGeneres to reconsider. He calls her eponymous series. I don't know that word. An absolute phenomenon, having established itself over nearly 2 decades on air as the premier destination for both superstars and incredible, heartfelt human interest stories. Indeed, after an uphill battle to get the show off the ground, quote, "It was the hardest show we've ever had to launch." Okay, so this goes on and on. But what she had said to, I don't know which outlet that we saw, what she had said to other outlets is that this had nothing to do with what had happened, which she said nearly broke her, but that it wasn't the reason why she was leaving the show. Let me see if I can find you guys that exact quote so that I'm not misquoting it. But she said that this had nothing to do with what I'm going to refer to right now as the scandal, although that is not probably the nicest words that I could use on that one, because I know that scandal is a challenging thing to. Scandal makes it seem like sexy, and it's not. So this is what DeGeneres said. "As you may have heard this summer, there were accusations of a toxic work environment at our show, and then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened there." Oh, this is what she was talking about before. I wish I could find this exact quote for you guys. Maybe one of you guys can find it and put it in here. But she said that this had nothing to do with that, and that that's not why she was ending the show. Twitter kind of erupted because they were thanking Dakota Johnson for, if you guys saw that viral interview when Ellen interviewed Dakota Johnson and was like, "You didn't invite me to your birthday party." And Dakota's like, "I did, and you didn't show up, and you know you were invited, and why do you do things like this?" Dakota like totally went and kind of outed her on her own show, which was interesting. And this was one of the times that we saw a celebrity be like, "No, Ellen, no." So people were like thanking Dakota Johnson for any part that she had in this, which I thought was kind of funny. And for her to say that this had nothing to do with the toxic workplace controversy was pretty surprising. Okay, this article is coming from People. Ellen DeGeneres says toxic workplace controversy destroyed her, but isn't why she's ending the show. She said, yeah, we settled on more than three more years, and I knew it would be my last. That's been the plan all along, and everybody kept saying, even when I signed, you know what? You know that's going to be 19. Don't you want to do 20? It's a good number. So, and she said, so is 19. Then, as for toxic workplace allegations, which prompted an internal investigation last summer, DeGeneres said they almost impacted the show. She said it was very harmful to me. I mean, very. But if I was quitting the show because of that, I would have come back. I wouldn't have come back this season. So it's not why I'm stopping, but it was hard because I was sitting at home. It was summer, and I see a story that people have to chew gum before they talk to me. And I'm like, okay, this is hilarious. Then I see another story of some other ridiculous things, and then it just didn't stop. And I wasn't working, so I had no platform, and I didn't want to address it on Twitter. And I thought if I just don't address it, it's going to go away because it's all so stupid. Whew, I hadn't heard that last part of that quote. That's really, really aggressive for her to say that it was all so stupid, because it wasn't stupid. A lot of it was really real. So I think that her claiming that the plan was always to quit after 19 is ridiculous. If you guys follow how entertainment works, you don't stop at 19, you stop at 20. And people saying that, it wouldn't make any sense for her to stop at 19, 18, 20, whatever it is, you would go for their 20th season. Her ratings are in the toilet. Her reputation has definitely been dragged through the mud. Whether you agree or disagree about all the things that happened with her, that is your prerogative, I suppose. But to say that this was the plan all along, I'm surprised that that's the story she's going with. And if that's the truth, then that's shocking to me. That would be truly shocking to me if the whole time she was planning to end after 19 seasons, and we're just hearing about it now, and she's not planning on going 20, and it has nothing to do with the ratings or the workplace environment stuff. It doesn't make sense. And then for her to be like, the gum stuff, this is all ridiculous. Like, no, Ellen, no. Your workplace toxicity, what the things that people were talking about, you can be upset that they happened. You can claim you didn't know, which is what you claimed initially. But to say they're ridiculous, that's ridiculous of you. It's really fucking strange that that's what she's doing. Let's see what's going on in the super chat. I want to hear from you guys. Lamont Small says, I know I'm late, but how do you feel about the future of the awards season, given the declining ratings and now NBC boycotting the Globes? I didn't even talk about NBC boycotting the Globes. I think that awards are still going to be a thing, but I think NBC boycotting the Globes is a huge thing. I think the Globes do a not so great job. And I think that they're going to have to revamp and relook at who it is that are helping decide who gets which awards, or who gets awards in general. So that's my brief thoughts on that. I can talk about that more in a little bit, but sticking on this Ellen topic, it just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And I don't know why. I feel like maybe what she should have done, what would have been the smartest move, is to come out and say, I'm stopping the show. You guys have spoken. I thought that we were ready for me to come back. I wanted to bring positivity to television. I've always wanted to do that. And I wanted to come back because after I'd heard about all the things that were going on at my workplace, I was appalled by them, and I wanted to make sure I could make it right. But you guys have spoken. My ratings are not doing well right now. And I think it was too soon for me to come back. And I need to move on to other things in my life and try to positively affect other areas of the world. Thank you guys for giving me the chance to make this right. And I'm going to do the best I can to do that elsewhere. And I'm going to finish my show out after 19 seasons and let a new talk show host come and take this space. And hopefully it's somebody great. Something along those lines. But instead to be like, the accusations were ridiculous. I always wanted to leave after 19 seasons. And you know why I want to leave? Because it's not a challenge. This is easy shit. It's like, that's so rude. It's just so rude. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I was always a fan of Ellen growing up. I loved Ellen growing up. Even when I went to the show, it was so exciting. The whole thing was so exciting to be a part of. And multiple things can be true at the same time. Ellen did a lot of good for the world. She really did. Does that mean she's a nice person? Maybe not. But does it mean she's good, that she's done a lot of good? Yeah, she clearly, nobody can take away the fact that she's done a lot of good. A lot of good. But to say this isn't a challenge anymore, even if that was true, even if you felt unchallenged by your job, you're going to say that's why? Oh, it's just so easy for me. I need to be challenged. Girl, the challenge is that your ratings are in the toilet compared to where they were, and that you need to you came back to make things right. The challenge is actually being a good person. So it was so strange. And Pink Sweet, she said that would be her admitting she played a part in the toxic workplace. No, she ain't doing that. I'm not even saying she has to claim that she did, because I don't think she's going to do that. But she could say, I didn't know it was happening. Now that I'm aware, I want to make this right. The challenge is making sure that I create a work environment that people feel safe and protected. And that shouldn't be that big of a challenge. But at her work environment, clearly it was. So it's just, it feels like this is kind of like a slap in the face of people. I think Ellen's tapped at this point. I think she's just over it. And I don't know her, so I really don't know if she's really sitting there like, I didn't do any of these things they're claiming I did, and that's really the truth. Then of course she's feeling like, fuck everybody, fuck all of you. But if it's not the truth, then she's got to look in the mirror at some point and be like, I have to take a step back, because people don't want to watch me if I'm a different person off screen than I am on screen. So yeah, it's tough to look at this. That's why I wanted to find the exact statement. And I'm surprised it took me that long, which means that a lot of websites aren't publishing that statement, because that part of the statement is like, what? What, dude? Huh? So that's how I feel. I still like her show. I still think she's a great interviewer. I still think she's done amazing things for the world. But this is all like, what the fuck, Ellen? Why? And she might feel wronged by people, and she might feel that this is not justified, but I still think to claim the reason you're leaving your show is because you're not challenged, it's just a weird claim after 19 years. It's no longer challenging me after 19 years. Was it challenging you after 10 years? Because this is really your reasoning because you don't want to deal with the drama and the headache and you've got enough money? Because then I'd rather you just say that. If that's the truth, then that's the truth. So maybe just say that. It's also interesting she's going to be sitting down with Oprah, because I feel like Oprah is the ultimate. As much as Ellen also was the ultimate, Oprah is like, Meghan Markle's going to do an interview with Oprah. If you have something to say, it's Oprah. And they've been partners in crime for a long time. I don't mean partners in crime as an actual crime, but they've gone on each other's things and they've talked to each other a lot, and I'm sure they have a lot of things in common and a lot to share. But it is interesting. It's interesting that that's Oprah's going to come on her show and talk to her, and it feels a little Hollywoody. Like, I get that Oprah's the girl, but I don't know. I almost would rather just like, this is going to be the dumbest comment ever, but like a me. I don't specifically mean me, but like, bring out like a real fucking person to be like, and that it would never happen, but just to be like, what's actually up, Ellen? What's actually up? Not somebody who's going to protect her, not somebody, if you really want to like open the doors and obviously this would be way too risky, but bring out a person who's not one of your close friends, somebody who's unbiased, who can just be like, can you just talk to us like people for 1 second? And maybe there's legal issues to that. There might be a lot of other parts at play here, and I understand why she wouldn't do it. But that is the kind of transparency and that I think we look for, especially now that the hosts coming up, this next gen of hosts, are not going to be hosts like the previous hosts were. The generation of the Oprahs and the Ellens and all of the hosts that we've seen in the past is gone, because what we have now are YouTubers and TikTokers and people who, there is no, this is me behind the camera and this is me on camera and off camera. Everybody's streaming and everybody's talking. Like, nobody ever meets me and is like, you're so different in person. This is the fuck who I am. I don't have any makeup on, literally not 1 fucking ounce. I have not done my hair. I'm in a fucking PJ shirt. Like, this is me. This is my personality. This is me all the time. And this is the upcoming group of hosts that are coming into the space, that are going to be taking over the space. It's why I actually like Drew Barrymore so much as a host. And she did come up with that generation, but she just, and I could be dead ass wrong, but like, she just talks about fucking anything. There doesn't seem to be that thing in front of her. And I think this next gen of people who are coming out, there is no smoke and mirrors, because we all came up on social media. We all came up in a time where This is fucking me. This is me. This is me all the time. You guys have 10,000 hours of footage of me. You can't fake that. So I think that if Ellen really wanted to speak to somebody and air things out, doing it with somebody of her gen, of somebody of her caliber, of somebody who's her friend is not the best way to do that. You kind of want to see her talk to like a fucking person, just a fucking person who's like, Ellen, just for 1 second, what happened? What's up? But that's never going to happen. So those are my thoughts on the Ellen DeGeneres show going away. I do feel for Ellen in the sense that clearly this is not how she thought it was going to go. And she's done a lot of good for the world, and that's probably very frustrating. But this is the way that it is going. And so she needs to pivot and adjust and acknowledge what's happened. And if she feels wronged, I'd rather her fucking say that. I feel fucking wronged. I feel fucking wronged. Just whatever it is, I just kind of want her to fucking say it. So that's how I feel. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Oh, sorry, Joseph Ashley, but I didn't mean to put you up. I meant to put Beely up because she put my Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy. How do you guys feel about the Ellen DeGeneres situation and the show going away? Would love to hear from you all. Morse Code Z says, when you said write meow, I had a flash of the Blurred's favorite meme. I always say meow instead of now. I've said that for my whole life. Write meow. Come over, write meow. Let me know what else you guys are thinking. Streamlabs.com/Roxy on this light ass support 2 months. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Thank you guys for all for being in here. And I appreciate you all for sharing your thoughts. Shout out to everybody in here. You guys seem to agree that you want a little transparency. And yeah. Yeah. Bruce Banner says, I hate how rich people act like they can tell poor people how to act. Who did that? Who's the rich person telling poor people how to? I would like to know more. Oh, Lord Jesus, meow. Y'all are funny. Okay, moving on. Another show that was canceled, a show that I'm much more upset about being canceled, is This Is Us. I got this email from Hollywood Reporter today, and I was like, no, This Is Us to end with season 6. So that means that we are currently on season 5, although it's been the weirdest run because they like air 3 episodes, break, air a couple episodes, break. And that's because of pandemic, obviously. So I'm not bitching at them, but it has just been like a stop and go season. It's been great, but it's been, I don't even know when it's on, when it's off. But they are going to do one more season and then it is going to go. And the Hollywood Reporter says that it's hardly a surprise when NBC in May 2019 renewed This Is Us for 3 additional seasons. The sources told Hollywood Reporter at the time that season 6 would likely be the last for Mandy Moore. I never know how to say his name. Milo Ventimiglia, I think. I don't know, but he is great. And Sterling K. Brown. Then NBC brass, however, remained optimistic that the mega hit could live on beyond that, though that no longer appears to be the case. So when you do lose your big stars, that and honestly, of all of those, of Milo, sorry, I fucked that up, Mandy and Sterling. Obviously, at this point, the biggest star of them is Sterling K. Brown. I mean, Sterling K. Brown is, I think he's already blown up, but I think he's about to blow the fuck up. Cena says Milo Ventimiglia. Oh, the G is silent. Milo Ventimiglia. Thanks, Cena. So I think Sterling K. Brown is the biggest star of all of them, which is so weird to say considering Mandy Moore. Coming up, it was like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Mandy Moore. So that Sterling is so much of a bigger star at this point. I think he's going to be huge. And so I can't picture Sterling doing This Is Us for 10 years. So the fact that him, Mandy, and Milo were going to leave, that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, if you watch the show, Mandy and Milo leaving would actually be okay. Milo on the show is we only see flashback version of him because he's no longer around in present day. Mandy, we see flashback version and present version, although she's very sick on the show. So, that we could definitely I hate to say this, but kill her off the show. That's horrible to say, but that the storyline wise, that would make sense. Sterling's would be a little harder to explain where he is, especially because the rest of his family, if they're still on the show, I don't know how we would explain. Sterling would never leave his family, so I don't know how we would explain that. So he's the one that would make it really challenging. And I just kind of think that it wouldn't be nice to fans to do. I'd rather them end it than kind of like piecemeal together a hodgepodge mess of shit that didn't fit. But at the same time, I'm going to miss this show deeply because I love it. Fogelman has been adamant about the end game for This Is Us, saying at the end of the season 3 that the show was at its midpoint. Fogelman, who serves as a showrunner alongside Isaac Aptaker and Elizabeth Berger, who has for 4 years said that the structure of the series would not sustain a run comparable to NBC's veteran procedurals. Quote, "We never set out to make a television series that was going to last 18 seasons, so we have a very direct plan. I have script pages I have written and I'm writing that are really deep into the future. We have a plan for what we are going to do, and I know what that plan is." This is something he said in 2019. So I always feel better about this when the creators or the showrunners are saying, like, we're not getting canceled. It's not going to be like, do we have another season or not? We know we're ending off in 6 seasons and we have a plan for doing it. So I'm excited about the fact that I feel like they're going to really stick the landing on this. I think that This Is Us is one of the best network shows ever. I know that a lot of you guys disagree with me, but I just think they have done such a great job. I love Dan Fogelman. I loved Life Itself. It has a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think everybody's fucking nuts. People who say he's emotionally manipulative. Newsflash, all creators are emotionally manipulative. I cannot say that clearly enough. It is a creator's job to make art that manipulates your emotions. Their job is to make you feel something. Manipulate you to be happy, sad, angry. That is people's fucking job as creators. Every time I hear that about him, all these critics, Life Itself and This Is Us are horrible. How dare somebody emotionally manipulate its viewers? What the fuck are people talking about? Does it make you feel? Yes. Does it teach you lessons? Yes. Does it take you away from whatever life you're living and give you a little bit of peace or hope or anything for a little bit of time? Yes. So what? Why do people keep using that term? He's emotionally manipulative. If you have a spouse that's emotionally manipulative, that might be an issue. A creator, let him do his thing. So I'm excited to hear that they have a plan. Go ahead and manipulate my emotions. Manipulate my emotions. You have my permission. Thank you. So I'm excited for the final season of This Is Us to be the 6th season. I wish that it was longer just for selfish reasons, but if it means that they stick the landing, then I'm pretty stoked on that. What do you guys think? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. What are you more surprised to see go? The Ellen Show or This Is Us? What are you more excited to see go? Which one are you sadder to see go? I know there's going to be a lot of other cancellations coming up. There's a lot of shows that are choosing to leave or being canceled. And then there's going to be new shows that always come. And we have some great new shows that are on. I watched Handmaid's Tale last night. Not that that's a new show, but we know that it is ending. God, that show is so fucking good. Last night's episode, the last 5 minutes, I was like, oh, how are you going to do that to us? How? No spoilers, but how the fuck are you going to do that? Just can't. Cannot. So good. It's really. What up to my friend Haley Matthews? Hi, Haley. I haven't seen you in a minute. It says, I am down bad. I love This Is Us. I love it. I love it. Manipulate my emotions. Y'all, just fucking do it. You have my permission. All right, moving from This Is Us and Ellen and the cancellations there, unless you guys have more thoughts on that, and just feel free to let me know in the Streamlabs and in the super chat. Let's talk on the other side of the entertainment world for a second about Dave Grohl. This is going to be really brief because then I do have to get to my Jew things. You do, Jew. I love Dave Grohl. That's honestly what this conversation is. I just wanted to publicly announce, in case I haven't said it enough, that I love Dave Grohl. I love Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl is a fucking legend. I hear the best things about him. When he writes something, I read it. When he plays something, I listen to it. And the fact that he is now a 2-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, even though I'm fucking pissed at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because of what they continue to do to Chris Cornell, which is egregious. At least they fucking show Dave Grohl the respect that he deserves. Shout out to Tina Turner also, Jay-Z. I mean, there were some big inductees that came through, but Dave Grohl being inducted with Nirvana and then being inducted with the Foo Fighters, who I believe the Foo Fighters to be the best band of this time. Right now, I think they still fucking slap. They have been so great. As much as you guys know, the Chili Peppers are my pride and joy. Florence, Fleetwood, obsessed. Bruce Springsteen, but the Foo Fighters are up there in top 5 for me. Like, they are so fucking excellent. And him being the 10th person to ever to be dual inducted is huge. And he is a living legend. And also is like, oh, wait. So in Nirvana, I wasn't the front man. But I'm going to start a new group because I have to, because of what happened to Nirvana. And I'm going to start a new group. And I guess I'm just going to do it. The whole thing. He doesn't let anything fucking stop him. Ever. And apparently is just the coolest, nicest, most talented motherfucker on the planet. So this is just my Dave Grohl appreciation 1 minute where I let you guys know. I wish more people were like Dave Grohl. I love Dave Grohl. Listen to the Foo Fighters in honor of them being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yay to Dave Grohl. Yay, Dave Grohl. Yay. He is a living legend. If I could ever talk to him, I would probably pass the fuck out. I would pass the fuck out. He's a fucking G. I love him. All right. So now that I concluded the entertainment portion of Live at the Roxy for the day, just because, I was like, oh, Ellen's ending. Oh, well, not actually, no, but Ellen's ending. And This Is Us is ending. No. And then Dave Grohl. Fucking yes. Fucking yes. Kingsport Cal says Trent Reznor is a genius. Totally. But that doesn't mean that Dave Grohl isn't. But Trent Reznor definitely is as well. Oh, he's fucking the best. The best. So, just so you guys know, I'm pretty excited about that. There was somebody else Carole King also. I was excited about Carole King and the Go-Go's. But yeah, there are some good ones. Tina Turner. Really good ones. But Dave Grohl, man. Dave fucking Grohl. All right, should we talk Jew things? How do you Jew? I'm dreading this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Couple different things going on with the Jews. For those of you guys who are catching the show for the first time or who don't watch me frequently, just so you know, I am a Jew. I am a Jew on my mom's side, and I'm a Jew on my dad's side, and I am a Jew through and through. I am Jewish. So that is the case. For those of you guys who do not know, being Jewish, and I'm not saying this condescendingly, I'm honestly saying this is an educational tool because many people do not know this. Being Jewish and being Israeli are not the same thing. Those are two different things. I am not Israeli. I am not Israeli, and I am Jewish. Do you guys remember earlier this year, late last year, when I got bombarded by all the people who said that I was not white because I am Jewish? That is not the truth, because I am white and I am Jewish. So those are facts about me. So know that when we talk about this is coming from the perspective of a white, non-Israeli Jew. So that's relevant to anybody who doesn't know. Again, throughout this, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, please Streamlabs them in. This is going to be a little bit of a strange conversation, so I can definitely use all the help I can get in general, and also Your support means the world to me. So there's been a few things going on with the Jews, and some of that stuff I'll get to later. But there's also stuff going on right now in Israel where I am not qualified or educated enough to talk about what I think should be done, explain all of the intricacies, anything along those lines. But I also know, based on the fact that so many of you guys are DMing me and tweeting at me and Instagramming me, that you want me to speak and you want to hear my thoughts on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And so I'm going to do my best to do that. And I might misspeak and I might upset people. And I'm going to really try not to do either of those things. But I appreciate your patience. And I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. So obviously, this has been going on for a really long time. And what's going on in Israel is really, really fucking upsetting. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. The fact that this has been happening for a long time and that this is really fucking upsetting and disturbing. I think that what people disagree with is all of the stuff that's to come next. For those of you guys who do not pay attention to what's going on in Israel, there has been decades and decades of this conflict, but there's flare-ups often. And there has been a flare-up recently because of, well, I don't want to say because of, because when you say because of, it places blame, and this is more factual than about who or what people believe are the cause or culprit of this particular flare-up. The Israelis, oh my God, I really don't know how to talk about this. Have you guys ever seen me fucking struggle with something so much? There has been a lot of back and forth between what the Israelis are doing to Gaza and the Palestinians with rockets back and with rocks, and Israelis murdering and bombing Palestinians, and Hamas retaliating against that, and then Israelis retaliating against that. There has been several back and forths in which many people have died, including a lot of children, and the majority of those people are Palestinians, and some of those people are Israelis. So what is challenging is that a lot of people are asking me, what side am I on? Because I am Jewish. And so what is hard to talk about is the fact that I am not fucking Israeli. I am Jewish and I'm not Israeli. So here are my thoughts. My thoughts are that going back to the 40s, the 1940s, Jews got really fucked. This we know. And yeah, I'm talking about the Holocaust. They didn't feel safe or protected, and they felt at risk of being mass murdered. And that is something that has stuck with Jewish people and has caused it's something that I believe is the cause of a lot of why Jews, specifically Israeli Jews, feel so afraid and scared and want to make sure that they have a home, because they are concerned of being persecuted. That's not me making excuses for anybody. That is just to give a little background on one of the factors. The Palestinians have also been persecuted and legally have a right to be living where they're living. And I wholeheartedly do not believe in anybody making anybody else leave their home. I do not believe that Palestinians should be forced out of their homes. And even saying that, I know, is a very controversial statement. But I think it's wrong. And I think the persecution of anybody on anybody, any group of people, I think the persecution of any group of people is fucking wrong. I also was listening to Trevor Noah, who I partially agree with and I partially disagree with his take. He did 8 minutes on this. If you want to educate your guys self a little bit more on what's going on in Israel. And what he acknowledges is that this is not an even fight. And that is the truth. The Israelis have access to so much more than the Palestinians have access to in terms of finances, weapons, support. And that happens a lot in war. That happens a lot in things that are in conflict. So that is something that is just one of the realities of life, that often when two people or two groups go against each other, one of them is better equipped than the other. And the fact of this is not an opinion. The fact is that the Israelis are better equipped for this than the Palestinians are, which is why for every bomb the Israelis drop, the Palestinians' retaliation of 500 rockets or whatever it is are not doing the same kind of damage. And when I talk about damage, I'm talking about deaths. The Palestinians are not capable of killing as many people as the Israelis are of killing, just based on finances, aid, and all of those things. Regardless, there's casualties on both sides that are so fucked up and so wrong. And one of the things I really agreed with Trevor Noah on is that whose fault or where it started all depends on where your timeline starts. Because yes, on this flare-up, Israel might have struck first, but that's only if you start that timeline on that date as opposed to previously. I mean, it just goes back so far that there's no way to measure time on this. I have seen all of you guys asking me what I think about Gal's comments. Gal Gadot, she is not just Jewish, she is an Israeli Jew. So she is coming at this from a completely different perspective of mine. And I don't know what I think about her comments, is the truth. I don't know. I'm not an Israeli Jew, and I don't know. I know that she said she's worried about her family. My grandma lives in Israel for half the year. She is not in Israel right now. She is in the United States. She's in Boston. Her boyfriend is in Israel right now. Her boyfriend is Palestinian. Her boyfriend of 2 decades, who I adore. And so I'm also worried about, if my grandma was there, I too would be worried about my family. So I don't know what to say about Gal's comments, because just about her most recent ones, she said she's worried about her family. I get why she's worried about her family. It's fucking nerve-wracking to have family there, no matter what side you are on, or no side, or don't know. So that. And that is honestly, I swear to you guys, as much as I want to be able to educate you guys and come in and say, here is what it is and here is where I lie. I cannot do that because I'm just an American Jew looking at the news like you guys are. And it's fucking horrible. It's horrible. The only things I have opinions on are the ones that I've stated so far. And I feel awful for not only just people who are losing their lives there, but fucking children. It's fucking horrible. And people who are losing their homes. It's really scary and sad and disturbing. And that's how I feel. And the thing that I wanted to be most clear on, because so many people were saying this to me, and I know that it's not based out of hatred, it's based out of ignorance. Jews and Israelis are not the same thing. That's not the same thing. And I think that this is what happens when people experience extreme fucking trauma. And I'm not excusing anything. I'm just stating for the future of our world, the ripple effect of genocides is so everlasting and extreme that it does not stop with the end of a fucking genocide. And we need to learn from our past mistakes, and we need to do better because the domino effect of things is so egregious and upsetting. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. And what I always encourage you guys to do is educate yourselves as much as you can. Don't take your news from me. I'm not a valid news source on conflict in the Middle East by any means. I've been to Israel one time for 2 weeks. That is the extent of my experience in the Middle East. I'm an American Jew, and we've got a ton of fucking issues as well, but this is not something that I am educated on enough to speak on to a place that you guys should listen to me for your advice or for plans of action. But you've asked my thoughts, and I try really hard not to avoid topics on this show. I know I did not phrase this eloquently. I know that I probably talked in circles on this, but I didn't want you guys to feel like this is the biggest thing in the news right now. And I didn't want you guys to feel like I was avoiding a topic because I'm Jewish and I had like hidden motive or secrets that I wasn't sharing with you guys. I'm like you guys. I'm watching the news and I feel fucking awful about what's going on. So that. There's more Jew shit going on. This stuff I am actually educated enough to speak on and is more relevant to not that what's going on is not relevant, but is more relevant to the American Jewish experience or Jewish Heritage Month. And so that I do feel more comfortable talking about, and I will do in a second. But before I do that, don't forget, guys, if you have questions, comments, concerns, things you want read out loud on the show, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. This is a support-based show. It is a fan-funded show. And in order for this show to continue and for me to fucking struggle through talking about any of these topics, or at least give a platform to talk about these topics that a lot of other platforms that you guys watch and entertainment places do not talk about, then I need your guys' help and support. So for those of you guys who are able to, please make sure you support me, as these last couple months have been woof. Apollo 3 JP in the Streamlabs says, fam, how's it going? It's a beautiful day. I swear to God, we live in a simulation. Apollo, what are you talking about? I'm glad you think it's a beautiful day, though. And what's the simulation? Sam Wilson in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, just saying hi, Roxy. After more than a year of basically no acting jobs, I'm now in a play that opens next weekend. Wishing you success in your own acting career. Sam, that is fucking awesome. Everybody, bunnies for Sam. So happy to hear that you booked something and that it's coming up. Appreciate you. And yeah, you rock. Thank you so much for that. Oh God, guys, it makes me anxious. It makes me anxious talking about this stuff. Mermoth Han says, love the honesty, Rocks. I do the best that I can. I do the best that I can with it. because I promised you guys I always would. So that is what I do. Leonard Kim in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar says, hey, Dimple Tits, thanks for sharing your thoughts on the matter despite not completely understanding what's going on. The hair looks gorgeous. I hope you tipped your hairdresser well. Thanks, Leonard Kim. I did. I always tip people well. It's probably why I don't have as much money as I need. But, when people do a great job, you got to do the best you can to support them. So she's awesome, and I really appreciate her. And hopefully she'll help me book more gigs so that the tipping will be worth it. In terms of not understanding what's going on, it's not that I don't have a pretty good grasp on what I don't want to say it like I've buried my head in the sand. I don't know what's going on in the Middle East. It is just an onion, and there's layer upon layer upon layer. So am I the most educated person on the subject matter? No. Am I more educated than the average person on the matter? Yes, absolutely. But just because I'm educated about something doesn't mean I have solutions for it, and doesn't mean I can speak on it from like I usually do here on the show. For example, when talking about Ellen, I just told you guys, as somebody who's been in the entertainment industry for 12 years, although Ellen's been here longer, I told you guys what I thought Ellen should do. And not only do I see what's happening, but my opinion on that is here's what Ellen should do. What I cannot do about is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is say, here's what's happening, and here's what I would do. Because that would be wrong to tell you guys, this is what I would do, because what the fuck do I know about what it is like to be Netanyahu? Now, would I fucking handle things the way that he's handled things? My answer is clearly not. I really don't fucking think so. Some things, other things. But can I tell you, if I was running and this is the platform and this is all the decisions I would make about this, I was a theater major. So I'm going to tell you guys, here's what I think that Ellen DeGeneres should do. Not, here's what I think they should do to have peace in the Middle East. So it's not that I don't get what's going on over there as much as I'm not well-versed enough or able to tell you guys what the proper solutions are. If that makes sense. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Glenn Caesar says, I know it's been a rough couple of days dealing with ongoing situation and violence between Israel and Palestine and other stuff. Likewise, I know this is a tough subject, but thank you for your thoughts, feelings, and words. We love you, RJ. You fucking rock. Thank you. I appreciate you, Glenn Caesar. I appreciate all of you guys. You make me feel okay slipping up on my words and being a human and talking to you guys about it. Pink Sweets in the Streamlab says, hi, I stopped watching This Is Us because I also found it emotionally manipulative. LOL. I get what you're saying, but I don't want / like tuning into a show that forces me to cry once a week. That's like watching the Up scene once a week. Why would I do that? Haha. So it's not that you don't dislike that they're manipulating your emotions. I think you just don't like being sad. And that's okay. You don't like the show because it makes you sad. But if they were manipulating your emotions to make you laugh every week, you wouldn't be saying I don't like it because it's emotionally manipulative. You'd say, I love it because I laugh every week. So it's okay to not like a show because it makes you sad. But that's what they're going for. Those are my thoughts, Pink Sweets. King Sport Cow says, hair is on fleek. People pray for my convenience store owner, Nicholas. His mother died due to all the COVID spreading in India. Has been my boy for 5 years. India is not doing well right now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know. That's really fucking sad. And we will. Thoughts and prayers for Nicholas. That sucks. And thank you for letting us know, King Sport Cow. Oh, I'm hearing a ton of stories like that. And it's just fucking upsetting. It's really fucking upsetting. Well, thank you for letting us know. So the other Jewish story that I wanted to talk about, and again, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar, get them in now, as I'm going to be getting out of here in the next few minutes. So please send in that support. As in the Streamlabs today, we have made $20. Love you guys a lot, though. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is this Tomi Lahren situation where everybody's calling Tomi Lahren a Nazi Barbie. And the internet is like, well, that's what she is, a Nazi Barbie. And I tweeted about this, and some people were supportive and other people were nightmares about it. And so I just wanted to kind of expand my thoughts on this on the show a little bit, because that's one of the reasons I have this platform, is so that I don't have to fucking keep to 140 characters to explain how I feel about what's going on in the Jewish community. One of the things we know, these are facts, is that every year, less people believe that the Holocaust ever took place. They don't believe that the Holocaust took place. There were 24% of millennials, or people 18 to 38, so 39, so that's upward Gen Z and millennials. There was 24% of them who either had not heard of the Holocaust or did not believe that the Holocaust happened. In America. That's America only. But so we have to do everything we can to remember the power of words. Words are really fucking important. And the word Nazi means something. And it means something specific. And what it doesn't mean is the same thing as racist. And what it doesn't mean is the same thing as anti-Semite. And it doesn't mean the same thing as homophobe. You can be all of those things and be a piece of shit, a horrible person, somebody that the rock stars do not fucking like, and still not be a Nazi. Because what a Nazi is a member of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. A Nazi is a member of the Nazi Party. That's what a Nazi is. What a Nazi is somebody who murders Jews for being Jewish, murders queer people for being queer. That's what Nazis do. That's what a Nazi is. So a Nazi puts people in camps for how they were born. A Nazi isn't somebody who says something fucked up or does something horrific. And so Tomi Lahren is somebody who I cannot stand. I talk about her on the show all the fucking time. She is so hateful. She is condescending. She is homophobic. She is racist. She is so many things. A white supremacist. I mean, you could call her a lot of things based on the things that she has said. But she is not a Nazi. And when we call her a Nazi, what people believe is that that's what a Nazi is. And so when people believe that Tomi Lahren is a Nazi, when they hear Nazi, they think of somebody like Tomi Lahren. What they don't think of is somebody like Hitler. Hitler, who mass murdered millions of people. And so I had people coming back at me saying, yeah, but she's not a Barbie either. I understand that she's not a doll, that she is not Barbie. But the power of words show us that there are specific words used for very specific things. And never by calling somebody a Barbie are you belittling or diminishing a doll. And when you call somebody a Nazi, you are taking away the power of the word Nazi, which means one thing. It has one definition. Now, a neo-Nazi, okay. A neo-Nazi is somebody similar to the Nazi Party, in a party similar to the Nazi Party or similar beliefs. I still think that the terms get confused sometimes, but if you want to call her that, that's one thing. But she's not a Nazi. And yeah, she's not a Barbie either, but that's not a harmful phrase to call her. Calling her a Nazi is rude. It's disrespectful to the Jews. And what I've said before, how I hate people calling Trump Hitler, it's because he's not Hitler. He didn't gas and murder 6 million Jews, which they think is more like 12 million. But so he's not Hitler. Is he a fucking horrible leader? Is he a racist? Did he do damage beyond damage to families everywhere? Is he just ridiculously atrocious, racist, homophobic, all of those things? Yeah. But Trump is not Hitler, so we should not call him Hitler, because many people don't even believe that the Holocaust happened. And so you don't want to muddy the waters even more, because it makes it so much harder for the Jews to explain, this is what happened to our people. There are still people alive today who are Holocaust survivors, or like my grandfather, who is a World War II veteran who was bombing Nazi Germany, that he's still here to tell the stories, and people don't believe it happened. So imagine what's going to happen when it starts with us calling Tommy Lauren Nazis, and then all of a sudden it's anybody who says something that's fucking wrong is a Nazi. And then it becomes just a regular turn of phrase. Oh my God, they're a Nazi. They're not a Nazi. And that word should be reserved for what we're talking about. Come up with a new word. Piece of shit. Whatever it is. Or call her what she is. If she said something that's racist, then that's racist. But you're not a Nazi. It's not the same. So it's really been bothering me. And as much as I fucking hate her, she is just so awful. That's what she is. She's not a Nazi. So that. All right. Well, we've been on the show for quite some time now, which means that I am going to be getting out of here. So get in any last minute streamlabs.com/RoxyStrider, any support that you can. It's been a show. I'm definitely excited for the World Girls tonight. Got to get some new energy up in this bitch. You guys are the greatest, and I appreciate you being here. As I get out of here, I do see, I think, one more Streamlabs just rolled on through. Shout out to my amazing mod, Jake Yakavetta, who said, thanks for speaking up about the hard topics. Awareness is the first step towards education, which apparently way too many people need more of. Jake, I saw you standing up for me about the Tommy Lauren being a Nazi thing. So yeah, somebody responded something really fucking rude to me that I was like, what? Why do people do this? And it's like, we fight ourselves, because I don't understand. What I'm saying is that we shouldn't specifically call her a Nazi, because that's not what a Nazi is. And then this person tweeted at me. So this is what my full tweet was. This is the whole tweet. I said, don't get me wrong. I can't stand Tommy Lauren, but I wish people would stop using the word Nazi for people other than Nazis. We're living in a time where millions of people don't believe the Holocaust happened. When we hyperbolize, we devalue the power of words and labels. And this is what she responded to me. Girl, shut the hell up talking about shit you obviously can't grasp. If someone's repeating white supremacy talking points, that makes them a Nazi. Quit capping for racists, you freak. What? In what way am I not grasping what's happening? In what way did I not call her a white supremacist? In what way am I trying to appease racists? What the fuck are you talking about? It's just so, the space is so tense and horrible right now that people are turning on each other in a way that's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Mormoth Han says, boop. Don't know what we're booping, but I'd like to boop as well. So boop is right. All right, let's get out of here. I'll see you guys tonight for the World Girls. That's 6 p.m. YouTube.com/The World Girls, as we do an AMA tonight. Also, don't forget, blow on your internet, make your bed, put the toilet seat and lid down, Brett Miles Jonathan arrests the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. All 3 of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Don't trend with the Holocaust. That one seems to be very relevant today. Jews are not Israelis. That one also seems to be important to say today. Stay safe, stay sane. Much love to you guys all. I appreciate you, and I will see you tonight for the World Goals or right back here tomorrow for Live at the Roxy.